going inside Memorial Sports. This is the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. I am Randy Rosetta. This is a Monday night edition of the High School Fan Zone. I'm going to find my email from the great Choice Woodman here. I want to make sure I get the radio stuff correct. And I want to thank Chuck Hines. I think it's Chuck Hines who got the Montelongo's ad on my show, because now that's going to be stuck in my head for hours. And I was actually singing it for my daughter last night when it popped up on the radio. That, and I don't know if have you ever heard the Bobby Doobie commercial up in Amarillo when you've been up there calling games?
I have not heard that commercial.
That one will stick in your head as well, and which tells you that it's an effective ad. So, Chuck, if that's you, thank you for getting that onto my show, because now I'm going to be singing that. I may even break it out here if I didn't think it'd scare too many people away. I might start singing on the air, but I think it probably would. Choice Woodman, I'm going to find him here because we have some games on the radio tomorrow. Let's see. Tuesday, January 13th. Texas Tech Red Raiders, let's see. Okay, Friendship and Midland Legacy girls game will be on 97.7, followed by the Friendship. Tell Choice they're not playing. They're playing Liberty tomorrow. The boys do not start district tomorrow. They're playing Liberty at home, which is a chance to be a very entertaining game. But I need to make sure that they know. I'm sure they'll still do the game because that's another team that we cover. But that's the games on radio tomorrow. I believe LISD games have started on radio. I think they started last week, so they're probably on a different station, but there should be some. And the cool thing is that all of these schools now live stream their games. I know Memorial will have their Crack TV crew. Here's two Memorial players right here. We'll have their Crack TV crew on it, and I'm pretty sure Friendship will have theirs going as well. What's up, girls?
Hello.
Where's Coach? He send you alone?
Yeah.
Wow. That's some trust right there. Well, Kiana, you can use the big mic then if he's not here. You can even slide into the big chair if he's not coming, or you guys can just share. It's fine. If you're watching on TV, these are the two elderly sophomores for the Memorial Panthers, 19th ranked Memorial Panthers girls basketball team, who have another big game tomorrow. It seems like a bunch of those keep popping up on the schedule. We talked to Estacado earlier. Estacado goes across town, plays at Memorial 6:15 and 7:30 tomorrow. You girls have, I think you've turned some heads with what you've done so far. And I've talked to both of them numerous times, Kiana Jones-Maynor and Zosha Story. Where was it that somebody really struggled with your first name? I think it was during the Caprock. You got renamed a couple times during the game. So these are a little bit of background. These two girls played at Friendship last year. We're on the varsity team that went as deep as Friendship's ever gone in the 6A playoffs. Both played roles off the bench. And I've talked to them before. We're going to reiterate or regurgitate it here a little bit. When you guys look back, how much has that experience paid off in these 25 games so far?
For me, looking back, as far as God helped me to realize how much it takes for us to really win, and I mean, it definitely gave us the edge that we needed, the chip on our shoulder. We had to learn from upperclassmen last year, so for us being the upperclassmen this year, it kind of just helped us lead them. Yeah,
I called you elderly sophomores because you guys don't seem like sophomores. And I've got two daughters at home, one that's a senior, and I hope she's mature. But you guys, it got accelerated a little bit, and that's parents too. That's parents and siblings and everything else. But when you got together with your younger teammate or even inexperienced teammates this year, did you kind of feel like I've got to be vocal? I've got to kind of be the one who leads the way?
Definitely. It was struggle at first. Everyone's learning each other and learning how to play together, and then we just had to figure it out.
Now, where was Zamaya last year? Was she was at Friendship?
Mm-hmm.
So she got to watch you. She's older or younger?
Younger.
Okay. Did you get to be older sister with her when the season started and say, now this is the way we're going to do things?
I
At times I have to, but she's picked up on it from me and Zosha telling others where to be and what to do. So she learned pretty fast.
Now, you three are sophomores. Are there other sophomores, or
There's 2 more.
Okay, but there's also a lot of freshmen, and I enjoy watching them because freshmen are freshmen. You guys were freshmen last year. There's a whole that 1 year is very different, going from being 14, 15, 15, 16. You guys have embraced them and made them really good teammates, which is important when you are playing with freshmen and sophomores. Are you guys surprised at where you're at right now?
I feel like it's just the expectation we've had on us since we came. Coach Cooper's been a great coach for us, and so he's been pushing us to the limits. He's
standing there watching us, so I can say this. He's pretty no-nonsense. Fair to say?
Yes.
Is that good for you?
Definitely.
Kiana, I want you to, you nodded pretty quick. I'm sorry. I just get talking to these two. I just keep going. We're coming up on a break. We'll come back, and Jason Cooper can come in here and tell us about his team after this in the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
This is the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. This is the Panther Fan Zone. It's probably a little bit shorter segment this time since somebody ran over a minute ago. I'll take full blame on that. Jason Cooper is here, so now he can answer the question about why this team. Talked a lot to Jay January. I even got Jay to mention why you guys are where you are right now. Number 19 in the state, 18-7, 15-2 since the beginning. What has clicked so well for you guys these last couple of months?
I think I was actually thinking about this the other day. The biggest challenge I saw in June when we started playing team camps and stuff was just how hard we were playing. We weren't playing very hard. We were still able to win some games and do some stuff, but we just weren't given that great effort that you got to have. And I think really at some point this year, we decided that we were willing to go that extra mile, and we're diving for the ball and getting after it, tying the ball up a lot more. And I think that energy, it just feeds everything. You can have a bad offensive night, but if you're outworking your opponent, you can still win. And we've seen that over and over. With there's times where we're struggling, but man, we're hustling, and I think that's the biggest thing these kids have figured out. That work ethic.
I said this to these two. These two don't play like sophomores, and your freshmen don't play like freshmen. And that's kind of what you're talking about. Sometimes freshmen get to that level and they don't understand that for 32 minutes, everything you got to eat, as long as you're on the court. Now, if you can exhale a little bit when you're on the bench.
Well, sometimes these two play like freshmen, but most of the time they're getting after it. That's you can't take breaks in a varsity game. As soon as you take a break, your opponent takes advantage of that and back cuts you, or gets an easy look or gets a steal. So they figured it out, and these two are such great leaders that they lead by example and vocally. Then that's unusual. Usually you get one or the other. And these guys aren't afraid to hurt some feelings when that needs to happen. And I think they hold themselves accountable really well. And they're hard on themselves, and that makes my job a lot easier because they know they messed up, and I don't have to tell them all the time. They're ready to go and ready to make the next play.
Everything you just said was a good segue because you're playing Estacado tomorrow, and Estacado, when the game starts, they turn the volume to high and they go. They did that against Liberty, and that's kind of how they hung with Liberty until Liberty got hot. They're going to put a lot of pressure on you. Yeah, they're just not. They're nonstop.
Well, Coach January's got them playing hard. And they've got some pretty good athletes and some good ball players. And like I said, that's the formula. If you get your kids to play hard, then you're in it. You want a chance to win, you better play hard. And he's got them doing that. I've watched them play several times, and if they bring that team that brings the energy, you better be ready to go. So we're excited about it. It's a game. We have a lot of connections with the Estacado students, and they know each other really well. So it should be an exciting environment.
Zosha, they're going to try to set the tempo, which is they did against Liberty pretty well. How do you set the tempo you want against them?
Just remembering to stay calm, like not trying to rush through things. I feel like that will definitely help us, help calm everyone down.
So you have to have a pretty good point guard to do that.
For sure.
What's the key against you or against them for you to make sure that things don't get too crazy?
Well, to keep my team under control and calm and to just play Panther basketball.
Yeah. Micah Henderson's really good against everybody she's played for being 14 or 15 or whatever. She had to adjust to what Estacado was doing because they, like I said, they came out and wanted to speed things up. Jason, as a coach, when you're watching a team, that's still, as much as we talk about them being mature and all this, they're still young. Mm-hmm. What's the leash like in terms of, okay, let them figure it out, or they've got to learn from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, there's a lot of just let them figure it out. Don't save them. You know, I say that to myself on the sideline a lot. Like, don't save them here. Let's see what happens. You know, this isn't crucial at this moment. Let's see if we figure it out. And I tell them all the time on defense, like, once the other team sees it, they can't unsee it. And I think that about our offense. Like, let's let them find where's that opening. And, you know, more times than not, these guys are finding that opening and finding that spot. And you know, that's the challenge. You know, it's kind of like a baby. You know, you got to hold its hand, and then eventually you just got to let it go.
Let it touch the hot stove.
Yep. And I think they're at that point in the season where, you know, they've touched a lot of hot stoves. You know, and they've been challenged.
I've always watched basketball enough. I always gauge whether a coach trusts his team enough by how many times they come to the scores table and say, how many timeouts do I have? Because I think you guys usually know in the back of your head, I've got some timeouts. Do I want to use it? No. So
yeah,
you only get a few of them.
Right.
So 6:15 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Big doubleheader, Estacado at Memorial. That's a big one for your boys, too. I'm curious to see how they respond. So we'll be back after this break on the High School Fan Zone and the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.